Hello. Let's finish this up, shall we? Good morning, Alara. I must ask, sleep? Where are you at with that? Good morning, Sarah. Hello. Hi, Rachel. Oh, good. I was super hoping, Alara, that your chair winning so long yesterday wasn't gonna super mess up sleep at night. You stitched this one, Sarah? Oh, I want to see it. Literally took me like yesterday. I was like, these are fish. What? Hey, girly. Well, trust teenagers to mess it up. Well, maybe not mess it up. Hopefully, though, that lets you get back on sleep tonight so that you don't get the reverse schedule going on. Scissors. So, I went to church today, and I can't wait to be at the point where I'm like not there. Anyway, I was there, but half the time when I wasn't needed for anything, I went out to my car and I just sat and I stitched and it was like my 1 hour of kind of like silence, you know? It was good. It was needed because today is just busy. I'm looking it up, Sarah. Oh, I'm glad he's on his way home. Sarah KR. Here we are. Follow. Ooh, which one are you stitching now? What is this one on? Ooh, the blue Moroccan lace. Your fabric is so cool for that, Sarah. That's awesome. Ooh, what's this one? Hawaiian is the Hawaiian garden is on one of the ones on my wish list. What's this one? What's this? Beaded dragonfire. Ooh, that's pretty. Chatelaines are gorgeous. Raspberry beret from Color Cascade. It's like bold there. I love it. Hey Wendy, how are you? I'm still scrolling back to find it. You've done so many, Sarah. You're thinking about getting a chatelaine kit for Mother's Day? That's a good time too. Highly recommend getting no Glorianas and then sourcing the Glorianas on your own. Hi, Peroska. Here it is. Oh, it's so good looking. I love it. Well, what's this one? Sarah, let's be best friends. No, sorry. Alara's my bestie. Hey, Kate. I look content today. I am trying very hard to not feel super stressed on how busy today is, to be honest. I am like, I love how many Chatelaines you've done. 13? What? I love it. Love it. Yeah. I've seen pictures of all DMC versions, Rachel. I'm I mean, and they look beautiful. I'm definitely trying to only have one chatelaine on the go at a time. So far I'm sticking to it. Look, I got the big size from Starbucks. Um because today is not over until probably 10 o'clock tonight. So it's to me it's like stitching a chatelaine in all DMC. It's a lot like a Mirabilia or any other fancy lady. Like you don't have to do the beads, you don't have to do the sparkle Krennic or anything Krennic, whatever it is. Like there's still a beautiful design otherwise. Like without those. I don't know why these are still on. Yeah. Sarah, have you stitched any all in DMC or do you do like fully as charted? Hey Bex, how has today been for you? Did you finish frogging or are you still working through it? Hey Energy, how are you? Fairy Flower Garden was nice. Hey Shauna. You got it, Shauna. Stay calm. Be a taco if you need to. You are awesome. If you well, I hope that you worked out where you went wrong. I guess you'll find out as you start stitching it again. Um, like if there's more. But I'm glad that you were able to get through a lot of that frogging. I love so many of the Chatelaines, girly. Like it's like my list is long that I want to stitch. Thank you. This is how my hair fades out. Um, the camera kind of gets rid of it, but down here it is more purple, but the camera always takes out the purple. And then it's blue. This part is kind of greenish and I don't love the green. It looks weird on me, but it's also starting to go blonde. It's it is interesting. I always get more compliments on my hair when it reaches this stage because of the ombre-ness. Um, it's interesting. Hand-dyed fibers by Vicky Clayton. I haven't heard of that silk. Silk is beautiful. I always recommend like if people have never worked with silk before and ethically they're okay with it, then I encourage people to at least try silk once. Michelle, you're struggling with what's like your stitching setup? I look terrible in the green, Rachel. Like once it starts getting light, the green and then the blonde, I'm like, "Oh no, that doesn't look good with me." And you have like a darker skin tone too. Um like mine's olive based and yours is also, I don't know, would you consider your skin to be darker? But well, olive based or just darker. So I can see the green also not working for you. Oh, just like positioning everything. I don't have to deal with a mag light, so I don't have any suggestions for you, Michelle. It does seem like we're different hue. I I don't know your ethnicity, but for me I have a more of like the Chinese skin tone kind of like that's my skin tone. It's a mix between my Samoan and my Chinese side, but it takes slightly more after the Chinese side than it does the Samoan side. Good morning, Yarn. How are you? Beck, sometimes that's just what it's like with kids. Kaylin was texting me in all caps, and she said that when she gets really excited, she becomes hyper aware of all the areas in which she like is not so good in, which is really weird. Not really weird, but I don't know, that doesn't seem normal to be excited about something, but then that be what triggers your awareness of I don't do so. I'm not real good in these areas. weird. Alaska native, so you're right there next to Asia. Yeah, but there is a difference between that Alaska skin tone versus the Asian skin tone. So there is a difference, but they do still have kind of that darker thing. Maybe you're more olive, and I'm more something else that's not olive. She decided to sit in the road? Huh. Kids, what are you gonna do about them, Bex? Like, it really is just a take it moment by moment. Oh gosh. How is that cheating, Kate? You don't have to cross stitch and be here. That's fine. Do I have more of a yellow undertone? Wouldn't a yellow undertone mean that you looked good in like golds and oranges and yellows? Because I look terrible in those colors. But you always cross stitch. Well, I don't think you're cheating, but I I acknowledge that it feels like cheating for you. You have no idea. um, for corral, you think the opposites, Michelle. So if you have a yellow undertone, you would look terrible in the gold and stuff. Because I definitely am like silver and um, not any of the yellow and gold and orange colors. Those look awful on me. You know what? Yellow undertone makes sense because that is more the Chinese. Um, Now that I think about it, that does actually make a lot of sense because Chinese. It's a derogatory thing to call Chinese people like yellow, but they used to be, right? Um, they used to be a long time ago. I don't think it. I really hope it's not still a thing, but they did used to be like kind of like whites, blacks, yellows. Um, that's what the Chinese were yellows because of their skin tone. So it would make sense. Yellow, yellow undertone. You bought a foundation color many years ago that was called Rattan, and I think that fits me appropriately. All I know about Rattan is like the furniture. So, and they do kind of have a distinct color on its own. I don't know what needle I'm using, but I don't think this is the right needle. I think this is Woodland Enchantress's needle. Yes, it is. We're all needle. Hey, Chrissy. Mediterranean is more of the olive. Okay. I will claim yellow. Rachel can have olive. Because this does make a lot of sense now that I think about it. Which undertone is pasty white? That's yours. I mean, I think you just named it. Pasty white. No pattern should start with white. It depends on what color your fabric is, Michelle. What pattern are you starting that starts with white? 87 stitches and you can't see one. Which pattern did you end up starting? That's what I mean. Right. Zelda. So just make your white stitches hit a place where you can put in another color, right? You look washed out in yellows, light greens, and oranges. You have a more olive tone. Um, Bye, Rachel. Yeah, I don't. It just makes me look sick. That's what they look like. They were playing Zelda, and as soon as you started, they stopped. That feels rude to me, Michelle. Like, how inconsiderate. I really kind of like that tactical era. I don't think I could keep anything in my closet that way, but like for that reason, I can see this being a like that's what it would look like for me. So Corral, we have a performance tonight, and usually the colors are like black with some other color as an accent. Um, but this time, the conductor chose navy with gold accents. And I'm like, I don't do gold. So good thing I'm just the accompanist and it doesn't matter. Like, I'm not going to stand out for not wearing gold accents. Nor do I have like a navy blue dress or skirt. So it's going to be a navy shirt with a black skirt. Hopefully the skirt fits me. I have not tried it on since I lost weight. But it's a fitted skirt, like a very fitted skirt, so I think it'll work. If not, I have no idea what to wear. I do have like a gold-ish necklace, but it's like it's not like shiny gold, it's like a matte kind of gold. Wait, maybe I don't still have that necklace. It's a more bold style of necklace. Here it is the day of a performance, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna wear. Call time is at 5. It's almost 1 right now. It's good. We're fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. It's all right. It's cool. There's a trumpeter joining us for this concert. The conductor of chorale she's a pianist, like professionally. Um, she's fantastic, but she's a conductor. And at the university, I think that she works at, um, she knows a trumpeter, and they collaborate together on a lot of things. Um, they're working on recording an album soon together. Anyway, so she invited him, and he's coming and playing with us, and he's going to be performing um, at, at least one song on his own. I think just one song on his own. Well, and she's accompanying him, so that's and so that'll be fun. And then next week he'll still be there, the trumpeter, but another choir is coming in. Some members of this other choir are coming in and joining us for a couple songs, and then singing a couple of their own songs. So that's I don't know. I'm not really intimidated at all, but it's always a little bit more nervous when you have like the more musician people are around, the more I start feeling like a fraud. I don't know. I don't. Does that make sense at all? I start feeling like, well, I don't have musical training, like college level training. But here I am, not just like one of the singers, but like the accompanist, and yeah. It's not really intimidating, it's just a little bit more nervous than I might otherwise be. And it's not because I don't like. Yes, imposter syndrome. It's like that's what I feel like. And it's not that I know, like, I can play this stuff. I'm a really good accompanist. Like, not all pianists are good accompanists. Um, like, it's a different skill than just being able to play piano. But I'm good at accompanying. Um, but yeah, I don't have like that college level musical knowledge. And not that the singers do either. Like they're just people in the community, but yeah. It's just like it feels like I don't know. I don't know. Imposter syndrome sums it up. It does take a special skill to be able to accompany. It's it's not something I didn't realize that it wasn't something that not like just anybody could do, but um it's very different. I would rather accompany than like perform on my own, but I could perform on my own, but I hate memorizing music. I can sight read, but not memorize. I've never memorized well. When I was a teenager, my piano teacher, um, we had a Christmas recital and then a spring recital. And in the spring recital, we were required to memorize our music unless the song was 6 pages or more in length. And that was always a struggle to like memorize it. And I remember there was one year where my song was 6 pages. So I didn't have to memorize it, but I tried anyway. And it was Claire de Lune by Debussy. Um, and I actually did really well. I still played with my music, but I didn't reference it very much. Um, like, I was very proud of how much I remembered that when I was working on it. It's true. She's a pianist. She's very good. Um, and yeah, she likes me as the accompanist there. And look what they did. That is true. Any new thing, there's a curve. I follow instruction well, and I have a good ear. I used to play violin. I still have a violin, but it's not in good shape at all. Alicia, hello, my friend. And like anytime you have to play a string instrument, your ear develops very well. Um, I, at least most people, I think your ear has to, because otherwise you are not in tune whatsoever. Um, and so as part of I'm not just an accompanist, but like when you're choir director, you're listening to all the different things. And so I can catch like this part, they're not getting their notes here. Or there's this, they're not quite in tune here. Whereas she is listening to a lot of like the vowels and the breathing and things like that. Um, and so we can kind of divide those things up and can really like shape the chorale all at once, like using both of those, her and my abilities. Alicia, this is like the first 24 hours across stitch weekend that you've like been able to do on the actual weekend for like three. The last two, I know you had to do it like the weekend after. I need to mark off all of this. Because I didn't mark off any of the stitches I did yesterday either on this. Heard it from a friend who heard Heard it from a friend. Why is that song? Why that song? You're still a plonker. I don't think you'd get very far in formal training if you didn't develop the skills. I do think, though, that there is a certain amount of skills. Like, it may come to you easier and or it may be harder, but there is a certain amount of like sheer amounts of time. You're here for the party. I'm glad, Alicia. You've been, I don't know, have you been under a rock? I mean, you just haven't been around here. Okay. I need to choose what color to do next. I think that's the hardest part of stitching these things, is that I'm not totally sure what to stitch. Like, what color do I do next? Okay, what is D and P? Shiny. D and P is shiny. Should we do some petite treasure braid? Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. Dark turquoise. I've never worked with petite treasure braid today. Petite treasure braid. It's this pretty one that I'm gonna stitch. Yeah. So, do I need to beeswax this? Like I do Krynic and any other metallic thread I work on? Or am I going to be okay not doing it? Anybody know? And I can't. Can we Huh. I need like, it's stuck. The tail is too short to unwind it. Did I get it? There we go. Not on. Great. Okay. All I know is that people think it's much better to work with, and so I kind of assume I didn't. Am I supposed to two-strand this? Wow, what are my instructions? I'm asking you guys like you know what I'm supposed to be doing. It's over 2. So am I doing 2 strands over 2? Do my instructions tell me? Metallics and pearls are used as they are, 1 ply. Okay, there's my instructions. Thank you, Alara. What did I do with my needle right here? I am scattered enough to where I'm just going to stream everything. That is basically what's going on right now. Okay. It's too busy. Um, okay. Okay. Or maybe it's the caffeine hitting. Maybe that's what's also going on. Sparkly. I am such a fan. I think that's why I couldn't ever stitch a chatelaine in all DMC. Is because I love the sparkle of the metallic and the beads and like the dimension that's gonna give. Same thing with the fancy lady. Like Mayari's got so many beads. It's bonkers. It's beautiful. Um, like her halo is probably more beads than stitching. Well, maybe not, but anyway. And then Sabrina, though, I'm stitching it all in DMC. I'm giving her a little bit of shine anyway, but it's not beads. And it's different. But I love the pretty. I think that's like my girly side. Is the sparkly and the glittery. This is rather nice. This is stitching like Kreinik stitches like this if I use beeswax. You're so dun 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 dun. Da 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 dun 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 dun. Energy. I know for some people that chatelaines can feel very intimidating, especially once you actually look at the pattern. Because the pattern, here, I'll show you. This is what the pattern looks like. Like, it's just, there's so much going on in there. Because you've got like 1/1s and you've got like the specialties and the back stitching and all of that. But but it can feel intimidating, I think. Also the cost, but um, you can stitch them all in DMC or convert all the threads to something else. I don't know if Sarah's still here, but Sarah was saying earlier that she has converted to a different thread. What do you need to do, Alara? And do you want encouragement to be a potato or to not be a potato? Like, it's okay to be a potato, but I can understand that you don't want to be a potato, so. Even war steeds need a break every now and then. Or be a taco. You could be a taco. In case anybody has no idea what I mean by being a taco, Shauna had sent me something because we had been talking about just life being hard and stuff. And she sent me this short of basically like it's okay to fall apart. Tacos fall apart and they still taste delicious. So it's okay to be a taco. You can totally fall apart and you're still awesome. The Alpine one is really pretty. Um, Hi Joe. You're definitely a taco. Well, you're you're awesome. That's okay. You can fall apart and still be awesome. You're a taco made with potatoes. Did I tell you my sister wanted to make like taco baked potatoes? So that's a thing apparently. A breakfast taco. Are breakfast tacos a thing? Like breakfast burrito but taco? I have those times, Joe, where you're like, don't distract me right now. That'd be a bad idea. Taco baked potatoes sound amazing. I've never had them, and now I kind of do want to try them. Taco bowls with a French fry base. Huh. I mean, these are sounding very delicious. Going to have to make a taco potato now. It does sound tasty, doesn't it? I mean, I never would have considered it until she said something, and then I'm like, that sounds delicious, and I think I need one. I haven't done it yet, but, you know. Oh my gosh. Go in. Not healthy, though? Girl, not everything needs to be healthy. I'm sorry that your back's not doing well, Energy. If Kristen were here, she'd commiserate with you. She's been in bed for like over 2 weeks with back trouble. That's true. Michelle can as well. Michelle knows back trouble too. Stuffed potatoes, chili, broccoli, and cheese barbecue beef. Mmm, yummy. Twice baked taco potato. Bake it, scoop out the insides, and ugh, that sounds good, Alara. I never like making twice baked potatoes because you have to bake them twice, but they're good. I'm really happy that we're past the days in which I had to ban food talk. I don't ever like saying we can't talk about something, so I'm really glad that we can do the food talk thing. I had a dream last night in which it was dance recital time, except for some reason there was also musical numbers in this, and I was playing violin, so I had everything there, but then I needed to prepare for my tap dance. And I was like, okay, but I have to pee. Don't go on without me going to the bathroom. And like, as I was like, when I finished, and I was coming out, they were like going on stage, like my tap people were going on stage, and I was like, no, I gotta hurry up. And then I realized like I'm not ready at all. Like I don't even have my I don't have my costume on. I don't have my shoes on. And I was like, okay, like quick, let's do it. And then like I discovered I had nothing. I had none of my dance outfits, none of my shoes. I had like a bag full of like the randomest things, and none of them were my dance things. Like recital is over a month away. I don't want dreams of not being prepared for the entire next month. Also, why was I playing the violin? I have not played the violin for a very long time. Like my violin is in such bad shape. My intonation would be terrible. But obviously in a dream you can basically do anything, so it's 100% because you don't know what you're wearing today. Good point, Michelle. Good point. Hey, Silver. What have you missed? I don't know. Stories? We've not talked about serious things whatsoever. Just about things being busy. We talked about taco potatoes. We've talked about chatelaines. About how I don't know what I'm wearing tonight. And I'm performing. Well, I'm a company. I guess that's performing. The group as a whole is performing. I think that sums it up. I mean, I kind of have talked nonstop for an hour, but have I said anything that could be considered important? Probably not. Oh, my puppy's at the door. Like, why won't you let me in? See, black is what's normal, and that's the problem, is that the director doesn't want black. She wants navy. So I do have like a navy shirt that I'm gonna wear and a black skirt. I'm just I'm just gonna try this skirt on right now. I did do that. She was a violinist, not a singer, but I did do that. And oh my gosh, I was so happy when it was over. Okay, this will work. I mean, not this dress underneath. Man, you know when weight loss is annoying, like tailored things just aren't quite as fitted anymore. There we go. It works. It's very form-fitting. Okay. Yep. It'll work. The skirt will work. Hi. There we go. We just tried on a skirt on screen. That's what we do. Oh, I should look at the necklace. I have two. I've got this one, which like is out there for me, but it looks cool, so I keep it around. And then I've got this one, which is more subtle. Oh, which one do you think, Pip? Which necklace should I wear? Whichever one allows you to be pet. This dress, Joe, thank you. This is one of my favorite dresses, and it's too big. I had to cinch it in with a rubber band thing. Again, weight loss problems that I'm just gripey about. You like the big spiky one? It looks cool, doesn't it? But it's kind of out there. It's a little bold. Oh, two votes for the spiky one. 3. Okay. We'll give the spiky one a go. I mean, I don't, like I said, I don't ever wear it, but I keep it around because I think it's cool. So why not? Why not wear it? It's not like a fancy event by any means. Um, it really isn't, but I don't have any other like gold accent. So I will give the spiky one a try. And just like that, my outfit is taken care of. Do we still say that? I mean, you say it if you want the Gen Zs to um, look at you like millennial slang. Sometimes something will come out of my mouth and Kaylin goes, your millennial is showing. I'm like, okay, but your slang is weird. The funny thing is that, like, their slang is just, like, different weird, you know? Like, if they came up with YOLO nowadays, it'd be like, oh, it's totally cool, but because it was, like, an older generation's thing, they can't think it's cool. Alara, cowabunga dude is not millennial slang. Sorry. For sick being cool. Um, yeah. Or like, that's so cringe. That kind of a thing. That's a thing. I mean, they're using it the way that you would use it, but it just sounds weird. That's cringe. Oh, okay, it's cringe. Totally, dude. Oh yeah, I love it. We've got the Gen X and the Millennial. I'm not sure that we have any Gen Z around because I don't think my audience gets that low in age. Awesome. Awesome sauce. Cool beans, that was the thing. I'm like, who here is Who's the youngest here? Like, do we have anybody under 30 here right now? Our 80s are showing. Yeah, I can't help you out there though because I was 3 when the 80s ended. Gag me with a spoon. My Pip. You love saying cool beans. And it's funny because when you grow up saying the slang, like you don't really question it until you do. You're like, why was cool beans a thing? How did that come about? Oops. You don't know what box you're supposed to be in, Silver. The cool thing is you don't have to be in any box. But I think 42 is like the low end of Gen X. Like the late side. Tail end, that's what I mean. The tail end of it. Coolio. I think the people who are like 40, 41 is just on that brink of um, millennials, and then getting into that 42, you're on that brink of Gen X. Like, so you're gonna find that you're like part of both the millennial and the Gen X. Zennials, there you go. Why have a box? Just put a put a foot in both. And I know that we go above Gen X. What's the one before Gen X? What's the generation before Gen X? Is it baby boomers and then Gen X? Okay, Silver, but like some of that is still habit for people. The boomers. Okay. So I do know that some we've got that spread too. We've got boomers and Gen X and millennials. Maybe not here right now, but when I'm thinking of my community as a whole, I know we have that spread. I would just be super curious to know if there were any Gen Z. That seems like really young. Um, but I mean, we would need basically you're like a 20-year-old to have a Gen Z. I think Sabrina might be a young millennial because I'm trying to think of what that the oldest Gen Z like where they would be. But I think that we would be looking right around 2021 to hit that upper end of the Gen Zs. Alara, do you know? Would Sabrina possibly be a crossover? A millennial Gen Zer? Do we call them Zennials as opposed to Zennials? Because, they sound exactly the same if you put an X or a Z in front of it. Your youngest is 25 and she's just on the cusp of Gen Z. Millennials end in 96, so nowadays they would be really 96? See, I was placing millennials ending later than that, closer to 2000. So yeah, I guess I would definitely say Sabrina is probably a Gen Z. I like it. We've got the representation of 5. Already I'm like 4. We have the representation of 4 different generations with people in the crossover sections. Something's in my eye. Right, because you need like the half generation almost concept. I can't like keep my eye open right now. Come on. Ouch. What is in my eyeball? Ouch. What is going on? Ah, I don't see anything. Uh, we're good, guys. There we go. Okay, good. We're good. Okay, I'm looking up that graphic now. Wow, they're already naming the Gen Alpha, huh? Yep. Wow. Hey, Samoya. She's not really paying attention. We're just gonna gather them all. It's just another. See, I didn't even know that they named the next one. Like, Cool. Alicia, I'm the one under a rock. Oh, I don't mind. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go. Let's figure out what's going on with my eye. Did it? It was an eyelash on the bottom of my eyelash that like was scratching my eyeball. Welcome to your rock world. Okay. It's funny when somebody who feels like they poke. Yes, it was like, and when I moved my eyeball, it was like scraping along my eyelash. Anyway. Who's coming up with these names anyway? Who knows? The expert name giver, Alicia. It's just thinking about this generation thing. It's a really cool way again to look at our community, right? Like we've talked about the global diversity of this community and how we have people like all over the world. And so to look at it now from the generation perspective is also very, very cool to me. Hi. Can you please wait? We're not going anywhere yet. We will, I promise. But not yet. It's not time yet. It's not time yet. Boomers are coming up with the names. Millennials, though, they're getting there. Boomers are getting blamed all over the place. They are the generation in the most, like, leadership positions. Poor Kate. Kate's not the only boomer here. Sherry said a boomer. Joe, what do you identify as? Did you say it? You might have said. But, you know, the boomers blame the younger gens too, so everyone just blames everybody. Whoever is convenient to be blamed. Boomer. I think you said that earlier. Just couldn't remember. Yeah. Girlie's Gen X. I love this so much. I love you guys. You're the best. My generation, Mushu's here. Hi. Um, I'm gonna say my generation may make mistakes, but I don't have to be the one making them. How's that? Oh, Alara, did you send him the why why it's Mr. P for you? Did you send him that? He's older than me. You did send him good. You're somewhere between 39 and 42. Look, if you were not here, I would have just told them your age. But since you're here, I'll let you answer for yourself. Quick, ask him anything. Pale avocado. What a millennial thing to be stitching with. This one. He really is a zennial, yes. Do you really want me to answer that question? Because I answer questions just as much as I ask them. Because she's Suki, Alara. You did ask. Oh, Joe gave you a practical one. I was not going to answer practically. I was just going to say it's easier than doing anything else. All right. Mushu, you opened this. We can stop talking about me. Um, I have no response to this now. Joe, you're very sweet. Alicia, I wonder how much of that was also because of being homeschooled, too. Because being a homeschooler, it's a different what am I trying to say here? It's just different, right? Experience. There we go. Oh yeah. There's a lot of colors in here. I still can't get over the fact that there's little fish. Like this is the 1/1 here. The rest is 2/2 so far. But like they're little fishies. And the fishies are cute. Well, I mean, as a homeschooler, you could be isolated from peer pressure, but not necessarily. Um, but but you just have a lot more flexibility in what it is that you do and how your life is like set up. Like there's so many different ways to homeschool that it's when people talk about public school, you kind of know exactly what that experience was going to be like. Like you all there's some differences from school to school, like and you may be in like blocks or not block systems. Like there's differences like that, but there's so much more variety in homeschooling that it's almost harder to talk about in a way. So when homeschoolers meet, you're like, well, how do you do it? How do you and then you get to talk about that because it can be very different. It always is different, rather. You want to order new stitching now? Finish your reindeer. Girly, finish your reindeer first and then order new stitching. Exactly, Alicia. There's so many different philosophies as well that one could follow or none at all. The tools they use are different. How they structure their day is wildly different. Runs, get your reindeer out. Vegetable first and then you can have dessert. See, I can be encouraging on the positive side. It's very true. You're just not as isolated, I think, as some people think that you are. It does depend on the homeschooling family. I do know several families that they homeschool in order to isolate, and I think that's a big mistake, but their choice. Um, but yeah, I really, I'm obviously very comfortable homeschooling. I was homeschooled, so I'm very comfortable homeschooling my daughter, and it's all that she's ever known, and she has no desire whatsoever to go to a public school. All she has to do is think of like how early she would have to be to get on a bus, and then she'd be like, no, don't want to do that. Oh, that's true. You don't have the white, girly. I remember that. I guess you're just left with the fox then, girly. You had to just work on the fox. You could very carefully frog the white from your other reindeer and then use that in your current reindeer. I don't, that sounds like a terrible idea. Don't do that, girly. Okay, don't, I'm not telling you what to do. I, I just gave you a bad idea though. Don't, that's not a good one. Hey, Inherited, how are you? It's been a while. I keep saying that to a lot of people because when you stream for like 24 hours, you hit a lot more people than you do otherwise. That's so true, Alicia. If I did that, it wouldn't be homeschooling. You might not have to get a license, but it could be like a co op. You could do a co op kind of situation. I have people who are like, can my kid just come to you and you can homeschool? And I was like, well, they're not homeschooling in my house. It's my home. Anyway. Um, I am doing great. You've dramatically increased your exercise. That does take a while to adjust to. You'll be a little extra tired for the short term. I also have caffeine like going in me right now. It's great. And it's very delicious. This stuff is very easy, Joe. Um, this is Petite Treasure braid, and it's stitching just like thread. If I'm using Krynic or any other metallic, I do use beeswax, and then it stitches like thread. But I do not like using Krynic or another metallic without beeswax. So this is very easy. You're drinking tea. Yummy. I mean, if I'm not stitching, I'm not making anything look easy because I'm not even stitching. Oops. What I think is so sad is that people who hate, when they look at their school experience and they hated it so much, it leaves a bad taste for like education in general because it's all part of that experience. You start to, you end up with the environment of learning was this horrible thing. You didn't have positive experiences with it. And so, you know, you don't have a good experience, a good relationship with learning in general. Whereas for me, I wouldn't say that my homeschooling experience was the best, but I do have a love for learning, a lifelong learner. I just do. Um, and so I don't have that same like negative reaction to still learning today. I would not want to like go sit in a class or anything. I don't want to go back to college or anything like that. But I do like to learn. It is a chatelaine, yes. Exactly. Like that's what happens is the all the negative aspects of the environment, it just becomes a whole. It's what our bodies do. Okay. I need to figure out what I'm stitching next. There are a lot of beads and specialties. No, not that one. Going on here. Life is wonderful. Life goes full circle. All right. I. What is I? What? There's two symbols that are like the same. And I don't know which one I'm supposed to use. This one, I think. Where's my picture? Okay, yes. Okay, yes. I know the thing to do. I dropped something. Hi, Jan. Lara, that's because you are. You are worthy just for being a living, breathing human being. And you're amazing. And we probably all know by now that, like, I'm just gonna continuously tell you all that you're amazing. Because if you don't believe it, eventually you will. Because you know I'm not lying. Like, I truly believe that. We're gonna use this. This is a Dinky Dyes Desert Sands. Online friendships are a real thing. I think there used to be some kind of like a stigma around it. Like you're not an in-person friend, but that doesn't make you less of a friend. Oh, that's not okay, inherited. That's sad. Alicia, I think nurturing is a beautiful way of putting it. Unfortunately, there's so little that schools can do about bullying, especially because the violence in schools increased a lot with COVID. And they just don't have like the staffing to take care of them. Like fights break out in the bus line and they don't have enough people to do anything about it. Like they don't even have enough people to teach really. What time is it? 2:15. Okay. Alrighty. Where am I starting? Here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, for sure, Rachel. Like all of a sudden the kids who were stuck at home, their parents were not going to do anything about their education. They were going to be like constantly in an abusive situation or just terrible conditions. And then they go back to school and the bullying and the violence has skyrocketed. Like I didn't have to deal with any of that, but on a personal level because I was homeschooled or was homeschooling, but or starving. I know there were a lot of schools who actually like you could go in for like a bag breakfast or lunch or something so that there were areas that still were able to provide their students with food. But I know that there are many others that didn't do that or couldn't do it. School is like babysitting for a lot of families. It's sad. And they're absentee parents the rest of the time. There's an Andy Grammer song. Um, My mother told me, she said, Andy, you'll be a man soon, so understand me. Most of the world sees women like candy. You'll be a man who will be standing for me. My sisters, my daughters, and wives. Da 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 da, shine so bright. Stand for them all. And I love that song. I love that message. Because how is it going to get any better unless we do have parents like you, Michelle, and many of you here who are teaching your boys otherwise. Girls too, because girls can be very mean. It's just a different way. And nobody should have to be facing any of that alone. Yes, inherited like that. Acceptance over tolerance. I think the focus is so much on tolerance, but that is so different from acceptance. I mean, if you're not going to be running a school, you have like the electricity and the staffing and stuff like that. You have money that you can spend on the food so that you can do it throughout the summer and everything. Generation acceptance, that's going to be a new name thing. That's why they would have hid their sexual orientation, is because to openly be gay or anything like that was they were threatened. And we talked about gens earlier, inherited. There's a lot of Gen X here. We have representations from basically 4 or 5 different generations. Super cool. Pip, it's not time to leave yet, and you're gonna have to be okay with that. Okay? Stand for them all. You are beautiful, you are beautiful. You don't even have to try. You are beautiful more than you realize. The trauma from it all is very real. Very real. I can't remember what they call it. Like, there's kind of a certain phrase that they use when talking about the COVID trauma, basically. Now you're wondering if this is how cats feel after being declawed. Being declawed is very different from still having nails. Do you now feel like you can't protect yourself, Alara? Because being declawed is a very, maybe a similar emotional reaction? I don't know. But it's a very different process, yes. Or like, what is it called when you stump their tails? Cats and dogs alike. I'm not a fan of that one either. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. Your fingers feel weird now. They'll feel weird for like a day and then you'll be fine. Docking. Yes, docking is the word that I was thinking of. Not a fan of docking. Hey, Joyce. Right, like when it's not for some real medical reason and it's purely for aesthetic, like for competition kind of a thing. Like, what an awful thing to subject an animal to that doesn't get the choice. Like, animals don't have informed consent, and yet we do those things to them. One, two, three. I'm like striping this section, but I'm not sure I love how the variegation is coming out. So I will probably try a different way. I don't know, I don't hate it, I just don't know that I love it. I don't remember where I saw, but it was somewhere I read something that was like, um, if you rescue a declawed cat or like a dog that's been docked, um, then it's like this double kind of mentality. Like you you didn't do that to them, but you get to uh like there is a benefit to having a cat that isn't clawing up your furniture, right? The color combination of the blues and oranges. It is pretty. And I promise you it's better in person. You can say that about anything, right? Any stitching is better in person. I think it's because they're opposites on the color wheel. Like the blues and the oranges, they're opposites. 4. Dun, 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 dun. Ba-dum, bum, bum. I mean, you two are great examples of acceptance. Like that's we just need so much more of it. Society would benefit so much by learning to accept. Oh, I know you want to go, but it's not time to go. 5. I think black and pink is a cool combo. I do like black and pink. Somebody warned you off getting a red Apple Watch? Why? What does it matter what color your Apple Watch is? The, Joyce, this particular floss is a Dinky Dyes silk floss called Desert Sands. But there's DMC in here, Petite Treasure Braid, Gloriana's, and the Thread Gatherer silks as well. So there's All kinds of floss in here. I see. I see. So getting the okay, that makes okay. I got you. Inherited. Yes, Joyce. These are all the called for things. Bye, Alicia. I'm glad you could hang out for a bit. I love you too, Mushu. you you like clown vomit? Oh gosh. Guys, I have less than 30 minutes, so don't let me lose track of time, please. I need to leave here at 3 o'clock, so. Sherry, it's just one stitch at a time. That's all. Just one stitch. Start in the center, figure out where the center is, and just take it one stitch. Mm-hmm. I know. Okay, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Evening in the park is um it's one of the mandala ones, right? Mandalas. The mushroom and fern one is cool. I like the medieval herbal garden one too, and the tincture and the Japanese one. I love all the water gardens and the knot gardens. The Hawaiian one, the Egyptian one. I love the different flavors of the location ones like that. Oh, that's beautiful, Michelle. Thank you. Way to go. That's so cute. Oh, rude. Now I have to count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I did not rebuke you. I did not rebuke you. Rachel. Other Rachel. Two Rachels. You're doing Hawaiian and the Serengeti. Serengeti is the Egypt one, right? I shouldn't answer for Alara, but I know the answer is no. I'm not particular, I just want all of them. That's accurate, Kate. I like so many of them. Gently informed is right, sir. I didn't correct you. I just let you know how it was pronounced. And I did tell you that other people say it the other way too. Rachel, I'm dumb. Yes, that's obviously Africa, not the Egyptian one. I've seen the desert one. I'm less interested in the desert one, probably because of the colors, but the Egyptian one is cool. I mean, I'm not saying the desert one's not cool, just that I'm not sure that it's not on the top 20 of the ones I would stitch. No, there's one way to say Suki, and it is Suki. He's talking about saying Alara. The light dawns. Butterfly lace that one's beautiful because with the little 1/1 stitches, that's so cute. And the hummingbird one, the hummingbirds are beautiful too. Um, the Chatelaine, these are all Chatelaines. So you can go to their website, chatelaine.de, I think. Actually, that's a much more common spelling, Mushu, with the O's and the IE at the end. That's actually a much more common spelling than the way that that I spell it. Yes, Chatelaine is the designer for, well, Martina is the designer, she's passed away now. But Chatelaine, if you go to the website, I don't know, whatever the website is. um, that sounds like me. Yes, I would say that. That's what I would point out. I don't mind typos, I can read it, but really, Suki, fix that one. No. The lady who designed Chatelaines is Martina Roseberg. She passed away more than a couple years ago now. But they're not designing anything new, actually. I don't think that they would. But it's her daughter who is running it now. and is keeping it going. I'm not even sure. I know that the that Martina had like not fully finished patterns, and I think there was some discussion on whether they would try to finish designing those, but I don't think that they will. Hello, other Suki. Maybe that's what you are now. Other Suki? That's less weird than Suki. Oh, yeah, good point, Rachel. You can get the PDF from their website. I have a printed version from 123 Stitch. Um, I got it on sale. Aw, thank you, love. Thank you. You need to start collecting chatelaines. I mean, I'm not going to tell you that you need to collect them. I'm going to tell you that they're beautiful and you should do something with them. It does make me sad that there won't be more new chatelaines, but there are so many beautiful ones, and I love that her daughter is keeping going with it. They're a lot no matter where you get them, girly. The PDF isn't actually any cheaper really than the print, but you can find them on sale, and Chatelaine will sometimes do sales too. Oh, thank you, Kate. I don't know how to respond to too many of those comments. It's not time to go yet, okay? She's just a little puppy. Nisa's little. I think, from what I'm hearing, I'm the only one who's surprised. I don't understand. Um, my eyesight is good enough. I don't use a magnifier and I haven't blown it up. All I did was copy the thing so I could highlight it, but um, but the PDF, yes, because you can zoom in, you can print it if you need to. There's a lot of benefits to the PDF. I didn't realize that you could get a PDF from their website when I bought this one. There's a color version there on the... Ah. The next Chatelaine I do in like, I don't know, 5 years when I finish this one, will... I want to try the PDF and see what that's like. There's gonna come a day when like all I'm stitching is Lord of the Rings and Chatelaine stuff. That's what I would think, Rachel. I was just thinking that if there is a color version, that's probably easier to read than this crazy thing. Oh, that's a cool thing, Kate. Right. Because then they're looking for it and recognizing it. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I'm not really looking forward to getting to that part of it, Rachel. The black. Yes, you get the kits through European Cross Stitch Company. But yeah, you can still get them. How enormously expensive? Well, if you get the kit, you're getting all of the called for flosses, which are silks, which are not cheap. So like the silks, the metallic, there's a separate like the bead pack itself was like $80. There was there's Gloriana's. Like there's just so much that is expensive. Like Gloriana's are like $7 for a skein. I do need to stop soon, Michelle. So let me finish my string here because I still need to change. I forgot that when I said I needed to leave at 3. Thank you, Michelle. I really needed that warning. Honestly, I really did. But they're big. They are quite sizable. And so yeah. Which is why you can stitch them all in like DMC and you're bringing the price down a lot. And they'll still be beautiful, but it'll be different. Okay, friends. The actual recording of 24 hours is about 40 minutes shy, but I did stitch unrecorded this morning. Um, so I do officially have 24 hours for this weekend. It's been amazing. I love you all. And I wish I could just keep here and talk, but I need to co-parent and perform. So, uh, you're welcome, Alara. If anybody wants to join Discord and they're not yet, shoot me a message. I will get you links. Um, it was fun, as always. Like, absolutely fun. I love 24-hour weekends. I do. Absolutely love it. So, much love, everybody. I gotta run. It's crazy. I love you. Mwah. Oh, thank you,